Hello there, welcome back to my channel. This video is one taken from my practice archive. It was recorded in January 2013, and that's significant because it was approximately 3 months after I had started studying the tongue-controlled embouchure. At the time I was just using the instructions from the Master Superchops DVD, and I was using a Superchops 4 mouthpiece. There are some interesting parts to this video. It's not a good video. It's not framed very well. In fact, you don't even see my face. It's kind of just pointed straight at my torso with a trumpet. But really, it's the interesting things are in what you hear. And I think a few times in the video I mentioned what I was concentrating on, which was entirely the function and position of the embouchure, with no talk about breathing or air. And even the mechanical function of the embouchure is a little bit ambiguous, but I talk about the lips gripping the tongue, which is all that's mentioned in the instructions that I had. So I think I'll interject at one point. There's an interesting place where you see the positive effects of double pedal tones, even though I wasn't actually really doing them properly. I was playing the pedal tones properly, but not integrating them into the, using them as an exercise or integrating them into the embouchure in a way that's particularly effective. You can see that even doing them incorrectly has a positive effect on my sound and the ease of playing that I demonstrated. So anyway, I won't jabber on too much at this point because, like I said, I'll probably interject at other points in the video, but this is just an interesting blast from the past for those of you curious about the initial stages of changing to playing with a TCE type setup. Enjoy. Told you. Yeah, like I said, back to normal now. Can't play for shit. Coming back to this and watching some of it again, I actually am going to put in some serious edits because I doubt that it's very interesting to watch a whole 10-minute show of somebody scrambling through these exercises. But that introduction kind of shows you where I was at in terms of making this thing work. And it's very sort of, it's like everything is based entirely on the articulation, and you can see, so even just looking at that, you can see a lot of this sort of movement, and there's no sort of like, I guess there's a lot of tension in the system there, is maybe one way of putting it. And yeah, you can hear that the sound isn't very full. I would argue that that's in part due to not having adapted to playing on a much shallower mouthpiece than I was used to at the time. there are interesting things about the sound in that it's quite consistent from the middle and upper register down to the low register. You get this brighter, more compact sound in the low register, which at first you might think of as a bad thing, but actually what it is it's more consistent across the whole range. So good or bad, it is consistent. Anyway, so the next bit I'm just going to zoom it on to is I played some pedal tones, and then I carried on with a similar sort of exercise. And what you'll hear and see is that the centering of tone, the ease of production, and the quality of sound all improve after playing the double pedal tones. And that's simply because doing these exercises, it physically shows your face, whether it be something like jaw position, opening the jaw, relaxing the chops at the corners, or just for whatever reason allowing you to get the tongue into a better position as a result of all of the above. Afterwards, even though I didn't realise it at the time of recording, things improved quite significantly. And that's just something that's really worth being aware of. Higher octaves, I'm thinking about drawing my lips in, gripping the tongue more, and a real effort for me is to not use any pressure with this arm. This is quite a heavy trumpet, so I can't figure any way of holding it that doesn't allow me to get that pressure on without fear of dropping it or just making my arm ache like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so I'm not sure there's a lot of benefit to be had from watching much more of that, but I hope that you found it at least interesting. I hope you had a good old laugh at me doing some terrible trumpet playing. The funny thing is that actually I could still play in my normal way to a professional standard at that point, and I was, still gigging. One of the golden rules of say embouchure change is that you leave that stuff in the practice room and you don't take it to the gig with you. I was in, what happened with me is that as you develop with the TCE, you progress in leaps, and so it's not like I was, had to learn everything again. It was just that as one set of things becomes easier, you can then integrate everything else you already know, and yeah, so this was January 2013. I would say that definitely within a year, I was pretty confident that I could play in this way. I did go through some exploration of other schools of thought at the time, because as you can hear in this video, I don't think the tonal quality of that trumpet playing is in any way acceptable for use in musical expression. And that's, like I hinted before, in part due to the equipment, which I changed, and just in part due to learning a new way to do something. It's not something that happens overnight. But I'm happy to say that once I did adapt to smaller gear, playing more efficiently, and once I learned how to integrate good use of air practices into this use with this embouchure system, my sound improved significantly. I think that you can hear that the attacks are pretty much there already, but by themselves it's not enough. So yeah, anyway, if anything, hopefully this is helpful for pupils to see, see the process that I went through, and if not, it's just a nice delve into the archives for my own sake. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time.